Hey friends, it's Emily coming to you from the Heartfelt Creations Crafting Studio. If you and I have not met, welcome. Today I'm back to bring you some creative inspiration using some itsy bitsy blossoms that really add the finishing touch to any project. So if you're like me and you love to create those beautiful homemade cards or add the perfect accent to your scrapbook layouts, this is a flower that I think you'll find yourself using over and over. So join me here in the back and we'll learn how to create this one-of-a-kind flower. We are going to pair it together on a shaped card that's a tad different than this one. Before we get started, I also just wanted to share this one. This is the base that we're going to be using, this stamp here, along with these little bitty flowers. So as you can see, you can use them by themselves. There are a couple different sizes in a small variation. And then there's these small ones that you can also add with larger flowers. So if you say you have roses or other beautiful flowers that you may already have from Heartfelt Creations, this is a beautiful accent piece for that. So are you ready to get started? Now, if you don't have this flower yet, let me show you where that one comes from. It comes from the set called Floral Fashionista. This one, the stamp has 4 pieces, and each flower in here, there's 3 sizes, but you stamp a bunch at one time. What does that mean for you? That means when you stamp these, you're going to stamp and die cut out a lot, and then we have a shaping mold that shapes it for you. So it's all done for you very quickly. So whether you want to make individual blossoms like these that I'm going to show you how to make today, and then you can cluster them together in beautiful little bouquets, or you can use them individually on your cards or layouts. So just so you know, as we head into this, the items I'm showing you today are on the retiring list. What does that mean? That means that each year we have some items that are on the retiring list, and those are going to be retired, which means they will no longer be available once they sell out. So if you don't have these yet, make sure to grab yours right away. We'll add the limited editions. You just go to heartfeltcreations.us and click on the shop button and then go to limited editions, and you'll save up to 50% on these, plus many more items in there that you might have missed. So I'm starting by coloring these little flowers with Rose Madder archival ink. And then if you wanted to do a 2-tone, you could always go back. I'll add a little bit of plum around the edges. Now, the flowers that I'm coloring right now are stamped in black. However, the flowers that I'm going to be adding to my finished project are going to be stamped in the plum. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. I just wanted to show you the coloring technique. So those are those little bitty flowers all colored. You can always color them on the back if you feel like your back is going to be showing. Now, here's the fun part in case you have not used this yet. The shaping mold shapes it all for you. So just imagine how it's going to be when you can put those flowers in there, line them all up. You can spray some water on top, and we'll run that through the machine. While that's going through, I'm going to point out a couple more on some card samples so you can see those. But the mold is one that coordinates beautifully with these flowers, so you don't have to hand shape those, which is a huge time saver in case you're one of those girls that has been like, oh my goodness, I don't want to shape these by hand. So you can make these any color, any style you want. They'd even be beautiful paired with your Christmas poinsettias. So this will just come out. This will just pop right out, and at the end, if we have time, I'll add some glitter on this as well, so you can kind of see those. So if you add a light misting of water over the top, that kind of helps to give them a little bit of shape. Now, before we get started, I was going to show you this sample while I was running that through. I got carried away. Here's another one on an A2 size card. So this is the stamp that comes with the flower. So beautiful mannequin just stamped in black with white ink and heat embossed in white. To finish this, all you're going to do, if you want to have a little stamen in the center, is just take your little flower, and you're going to want to take a paper piercer and just punch a little hole right through the center, and that will leave room for a stamen. Now the stamen I'm using is from our bridal set. That set is a beautiful white set of stamens that are very beautiful just by themselves. You can also custom color these if you wanted to. I'm going to do that real quick. You could just lay that onto your ink pad, just add a little bit of ink on the top, and that will color it for you. So if you wanted to add a little bit of color to those white stamens, it allows you to customize that. So just like that, you have that little flower all made. So hey, sometimes when you're kind of stuck, you don't know, okay, what do I want to make next? Sometimes it's great to just stamp a bunch of these flowers, cut them and color them, in your most favorite colors that you use a lot for your projects, and then you have these laying around so you can easily add them to your projects as you're creating projects for your friends and family. So if you wanted to pair this with your poinsettias, you could do that for Christmas, and then you could turn around and use them for Valentine's Day, for your birthdays, thinking of you, all that fun stuff. Before we move on to the next step, I'm just going to show you how I glitter these, because I'm going to pick up a larger one so you can see this a little bit more up close. Do you see how that entire flower is really sparkly? Before we add them to a card, if you just want to take a Hydra sponge and add a little bit of glue to your sponge, and then just sponge the entire flower. It's kind of like dipping it. Think of an ice cream cone being dipped in chocolate. Sorry if you're wanting an ice cream cone now, but hey, it's kind of like that, except you're dipping it in glitter, so you can just take hold of the little tail, dip it into your glitter, and that makes it all sparkly. And once it's dry, it's going to be clear and looks so delicate and beautiful. I call those my sugary candied flowers. Okay, so our next step is putting it together on a card, which is what we're going to do today. So just remember, if you don't have the Floral Fashionista stamp and die set yet, this is the stamp and die set that it comes from, and it is on our retired list, which means once this is gone, it will be gone forever, and it is on a 50% savings. So if you go to heartfeltcreations.us, click on the shop button and then the limited edition, and you'll see these. Now, the next stamp and die sets I'm going to be using are from the Floral Fashionista stamp set as well. I'm going to be using the corset from the Floral Corset stamp and die set. I love how this just pairs beautifully together. The dies coordinate very beautifully with intricate cuts, and then I'm using the Elements of Fashion, this piece right here. So you have like a little necklace and a hat in here too, which is really beautiful and fun to use. So what I wanted to do is make a shaped card. So this is where it becomes fun. So you're going to take the base of the corset die, or the Elements of Fashion die, sorry, and you're going to cut that out. I just had a folded piece of cardstock, just lay that on top. I made sure that this piece left was extended over the top, so it created a fold. So you can make this for a cute little like invite, some fun things like that. So we're just going to go ahead and glue this on top and just add a little bit of glue on the side, and we're going to glue this down. Now you could go ahead and you could use this for actually, sorry, I glued the wrong one down. Okay, this is the one that's cut out. This is the one that I was going to show you how to color. So we're just going to move that one to the side. This is the one we're going to glue down as the base on the top of it. The reason I did this one is I wanted to have this rounded on the top. So all I'm going to do is just lay that on top. It's up to you if you want to stamp that or not. So before we glue this piece on top of that, I'm just going to show you how I colored it. I used our sponge daubers. These are designed so that you can do some beautiful shading. So you can just go in with the tip of your sponge dauber and add a little bit of pressure on that tip, and then just kind of pull up and out using that plum archival ink, and then you can go back and fill in with the rose madder. So that is how I colored the base of the corset and the Elements of Fashion base of this. So you could always go back, add a little bit more highlight in there if you wanted to, add a little bit of more darker streaks, so you can really kind of add some color however you desire. So once that is colored, you're going to go back and you can just glue this on top of your card base. I find that this makes a really beautiful shaped card, which is a very interesting technique. Now you can always go back, you can add this to an actual card base. However, like right here it's done on vellum. So you get lots of different looks just based on how you shape that corset, how you layer those on top of each other. You can add a hat, you can do all sorts of fun things. But today I'm keeping it pretty simple. So you can always go in, you could bend this up. This is your corset piece. I'm going to layer this on top. So we're just going to add a little, actually I'm going to use my hot glue and put a pretty generous layer on the bottom here. And we're going to just give that a little bit of dimension with the hot glue adhering to that. So we'll just go ahead and kind of position that in the middle. And then you can add as many or as little flowers as you like. So I'm going to just bring in some of my flowers from the side. I am using some classic leaves mixed in with this. Those are not on the retired list. So if you don't have leaves yet, make sure that you snatch those up in case you're looking for those. So to add some flowers to this, you can do a cluster. You can do as much or as little as you want. For myself, I like to put one of these flowers on top of the rose. Now that's optional. You wouldn't need to do that. I have some of these flowers colored a little bit different from each other, so it adds a little bit of interest. If you add a little bit of different color combinations together, adds a little bit of depth, dimension. You could clip off the tails of the stamen if you wanted to, or you can keep it on. This one I just left on. This is a threaded stamen, so it kind of just bends. So you can add as much or as little as you want in here. So I think I'm going to go with 5 on the cluster at the base. And we're just going to tuck these in and make a little flower party down here. And we'll add one more in over here. I'm just going to do some hot glue right at the base. So tell me what you're loving about this. Do you have the Floral Fashionista stamps and dies yet? If you don't, make sure to get yours right away. You can go to heartfeltcreations.us, click on the shop button, and then you're going to be able to find that very quickly and easily by going to the limited edition section. And just remember, this is while supplies last. So if you get there and any of these items are out of stock, those will be going forever. So if you've been on the fence and you've been like, oh, I like that, but I just don't know, you might want to jump off the fence, run to the website and get those. And hey, you'll save up to 50% on any of the items in the limited editions category. So if you haven't checked that out recently, you might want to check that out. You might have some favorites in there that you don't want to miss out on. So up here on the corset, I'll go ahead and just add a couple more flowers. Again, like I said, you can add more if you wanted to. I'm just going to do a couple today, but you could always go back and you can add more in there if you wanted to. And then always add those finishing leaves where you think it needs a leaf. So we'll just tuck that in. So you've got 3 on the top, 5 in the bottom, and then I have a couple leaves here that are all ready to go. So I'll just kind of bring those in. These have been shaped, but I'm just going to squeeze them together a little bit tighter since those flowers are smaller. So we have a little bit of a smaller leaf going in here. Like that. You could always tuck the hat in the top there if you wanted to. If you want some more leaves on the bottom, totally up to you, because you have some leaves from the base coming out as well. So as you can see, that is just kind of a quick way to create a one-of-a-kind florally fashionista card that I think your friends and family will absolutely love. Just imagine all the different flowers you can make with this, and then paired it with the Floral Fashionista iconic stamps and dies. I think you'll be so pleased with everything that you can create with this. So you could always do like a little tag off the side of like thinking of you, it's a party, you're invited, and all of that fun stuff. So this will just then open up, and you've got that beautiful card base. So this is a little bit different in its shape and style, but just remember, you can always go back and you can add those to your actual card bases and really create something super simple. Or if you want to have it a little bit more elegant and kind of like a party and it's your birthday or congratulations, or maybe somebody's getting married, you can really dress it up. You've got the necklace, you can keep the mannequin kind of simple and elegant. So it's totally up to you. If you want to keep it simple, you can add those little pink flowers. Those were just stamped in pink, and the bridal stamens were just inked in a little bit of the light pink as well. So with that, that is everything for today. So have fun creating your own one-of-a-kind Floral Fashionista piece. If you don't have yours yet, make sure to jump onto the website at heartfeltcreations.us, click on the shop section, go to limited editions, and you'll save up to 50%. And I think you'll be so excited to receive these in your crafting stash and have fun creating with them. Until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.